So when, how, and when?
So a couple of years ago, I struggled really bad with depression, to the point where I didn't get up daily.
Howdy, folks. Brian here at Redline Report, and today we're going to have on my friend Nikki. And Nikki is a huge inspiration to me, and the first time I met her at the show, I knew, like, I want to have this girl on a show sometime and just let her talk about whatever she wants to, and she's going to share her faith boldly, and that's something we haven't done on this channel yet. If you guys follow me on my vlog channel, you know that I do it over there, and sometimes with trepidation, to be completely honest, because I know that there's going to be folks in the comments that think it's stupid and think that it's ridiculous and can't understand how somebody could think like that, and that's okay. And I do pray for folks like that, and I understand as well that it's something that seems ridiculous to some people, but it's I just want to thank Nikki ahead of time here for being bold in her faith and being willing to share. And I think it's a beautiful thing. You're watching Redline Report. You're actually the first person since we've been doing Redline Report to have an animal during the interview, so we should definitely be filming that.
Of course.
For sure, especially since it's such a beautiful ocelot retic.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Incredible.
You can't beat him right now.
No, I mean, look at the amount of contrast.
And so this actually isn't my snake. This is Aubrey Pruitt's snake. Right. He said to me that he actually fires up blue. So like when he gets really fired up, these silvers will actually turn blue. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. It's an incredible looking animal. It's cool to see it it's cool to have an animal on the thing. Like I said, we haven't had any yet, so. Good.
Since we've been Redline Report, there has not been an animal yet, so.
Awesome.
That is the first. So, I asked you to come sit here with me today, right?
Yeah.
And I asked that because the first time that I met you.
Oh, no. Yeah.
You made quite the impression on me.
I did?
You did.
Okay. Because I cried.
The crying helped.
Yeah, I remember our first time meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, Brian, you have taught me so much in your YouTube videos, and not only did you teach me through just your ways of your own version, like of teaching, but you taught me through Christ. And bringing God into your YouTube has really enlightened me too. I'm gonna cry again. Because God is so important to me and my lifestyle, and to have another reptile person who is also interested in it and has a big faith just as I do and wants to share that faith with others, it's something that I want to strive to do as well. So because of people like you that use their faith and know that God put them on this planet to do what you're doing, it's a huge inspiration to me.
Awesome. Well, as you may well know, that's not me. If it was up to me, I would just be running away and hiding everywhere, and it's through the hope and joy that He's given me, that I'm able to do that. Because when you step out like that, you say, the encouragement to like step out and be bold in your faith and talk about it openly, and that the Word says that there's going to be pushback, there's going to be
absolutely
persecution, it's not going to be easy.
No.
It's not going to be rainbows and butterflies and sunshine, and stuff's going to get hard.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be challenges, and those definitely come too, but it's one of the most amazing things I remember reading about is just like how Christians were being fed to the lions, or
absolutely
having their heads chopped off, and that's part of what made it go so big. Is like all they had to do was say, "I don't believe," and they wouldn't have been, their life would be spared. Their life on earth, they wouldn't be fed to the lion or whatever. And they were so bold in their faith to be like, "No, we believe in something bigger than this in this moment, these lions." And it's I think about that, and I'm like, well, nobody's got a lion there right now, or a blade to chop my head off at the moment. It might be an emotional blade, or something like that, but I know that's something that gives me hope as well. And just knowing the things that the Lord has done in my life since I chose to recognize them. and
you instantly feel better. I feel like an anxiety has been lifted off of me because I have chosen to publicly declare him as my savior. And yeah, I may have hardships, but he's there for me, and he did what he did, to help us through our life. And I feel like without those hardships, we wouldn't be where we are today. Absolutely.
Yeah. And sometimes it's still, there's still a struggle that happens, It's not like it's all just fixed. Like we're not promised to have an easy life because of it. It's not
it's
like
the afterlife.
Yeah, and it's not put all your faith in Christ and your life here on earth will be perfect and happy and everything will be taken care of. Or it'll help me get through that. Like one thing some people mention to me is like, if that's what helps get you through, and then then good for you. And it's like, I mean, yes, but no. At the same time, it's not like it's a magic ticket to like have an easy life.
No.
Here on earth, it's not that. If anything, sometimes there's more struggles that come when you realize like the struggle of sin that you're going through, and that you're struggling to process all of that stuff. And it's different for everybody, maybe, but. I don't know. I'm not finding the words for exactly what it is I'm really trying to say.
I understand what you're saying, and maybe that's because I also know what you've been going through. And I mean, I really do understand what you're saying. People think of it as like a crutch, and it's not. It's not something that's like that. It's spiritual. It's mentally. It's how you live your life, And Christ, we need to walk as Christ walked, and that's how I choose to walk my life.
Yeah, which is a very tall order and a high standard.
Oh yeah, very high.
Which is, I think, why there's often pushback. I mean, people have lots of different reasons. There's lots of ways that religion and Christianity in particular have been, made to look bad, or that people have a perception of it. Is like, because a lot of times, well, all times except for Jesus, it's been people proclaiming the message, and all of us people, with the exception of Jesus, fall short in some way, and like we are imperfect, and we have all our issues, and sometimes those come out and those get like looked at like, well, these Christians are doing this and they're claiming the name of Jesus and yet doing this. It's because we're not perfect.
No.
And it's such a strange dichotomy, such a strange position to be in, to wanting to share the hope and joy that we have while being imperfect mirrors to reflect a perfect God. So it's challenging.
It is.
To say the least.
Very.
But I think the thing is, and I never want to beat anybody's head over. I want to proclaim the joy, and I want to, be a light to folks. And because of that, like often I don't just want to beat somebody's head over it. I want to share, gently, but sometimes you're not called to share it gently, but it's very challenging. It's hard. Like you said, I appreciate you coming down. That's like the first thing you say here, is because it is challenging. Like I'm constantly thinking about how can I share in a way that's not overbearing, that's actually going to bear fruit, that's not going to put people off, which inevitably it is going to do.
Absolutely.
Like there's going to be people, like there's moments, even myself, like I get very comfortable in the idea of like just staying in a pit. There's a lady sharing her testimony at a youth group last week. She was calling about pit dwellers and like living in sin and being in a pit. And even after we're saved, we're still here on earth, so we're still going through the process of sanctification. We're still like working out that salvation in a way, even though it's a battle that's already been won, something that's already in the fullness of time has been finished, and yet we're still in the middle of it living out since we're inside of time. And it's so challenging sometimes to figure out the best way to do it, and oftentimes I want to throw my hands up in the air like, what do I do?
Yeah, exactly. But that's why you pray, and he'll tell you the answers.
Yeah.
I love my Jesus. I absolutely, I could scream to the world that, he's helped me in so many ways.
How and when?
So a couple of years ago, I struggled really bad with depression, to the point where I didn't get up daily. My now husband, Taylor, he noticed the differences, and it was hard. Like, I didn't have a reason to get up out of bed. I didn't have a reason to, I was overeating because I didn't know how to feel my feelings, and that was my answer, was to eat. And one day I went to church with one of my friends. She had invited me, and it just really spoke to me. Like, it was actually about mental health. So I feel like God kind of knew, like, hey, you need to come hear this. And it made me feel better. It made me feel good. A few months later, I was saved. And I've gone through my trials and tribulations. You know, it's been hard. I stopped going to church because you question it for a while. And it's, you know, like you said, you struggle with others. And others put you down, or others don't understand why you do choose to believe in God, or something, you know, something along those lines. And it wasn't even, it had nothing to do with anybody personal in my life. It was just hard to grasp it, because I had my family growing up. My great grandma was she was I hate to say this, but she was like a pinnacle of the Christian, like the perfect Christian. I never heard her cuss. She went to church every Sunday. She wore a skirt. She just was my huge idol for it. And once I started worshiping with her, it just kind of all clicked, and I felt this joy in my heart. And this past year, I made a commitment to not skip a Sunday, or to skip a Wednesday, or to skip whatever, because it does make me feel good. And it's just, ever since like this past year, my great grandma passed away a few years back, and the gentleman who did her eulogy had said some stuff that really stuck to me. Like, you know, I Could Only Imagine. I don't know if you know that song. I believe it's by Phil Collins.
Okay.
Anyways, it's this song about how I can only imagine when I get to heaven, and how amazing it'll be to be in your presence. And I just started crying, and I was like, okay, this is my Jesus moment. And it just kind of went from there. I know it's kind of all over the place, but I feel like no journey onto Jesus is easy. And following Christ is definitely something that is challenging yet rewarding.
The ultimate reward, right?
Exactly.
It's tough because you kind of want every moment to be a Jesus moment.
Yes.
This side of heaven, it's not.
Exactly. It's hard.
Yeah, it's tough. But I appreciate you coming on here and just sharing like that. We haven't. It was funny because I've been thinking, like, I want to talk about that here, even though it's like a reptile, industry based podcast. But like, why not?
Absolutely. I'm glad that you asked me. I love it. I of course, my emotional self, I cried when you messaged me, because I'm like, holy, Brian wants me to be on his podcast? Like, what? And Taylor was like, are you serious, babe? That's awesome. Like, congratulations. And, I was like, I feel like this is God just pushing me, because recently I've been very determined into educating. And I felt like even though this would be a talk about, God, I didn't know what this talk was going to be about walking into this.
Neither did I.
It just happened. And, it just kind of made me think more about, like, okay, God's putting me in this awesome direction to meet these amazing people. And I feel like it's going to work out the way I'm thinking it is. So I really hope it. I love the monitors are more my thing. I love the retics. Taylor, my husband, he does the genetics and the breeding for retics, and then I work on monitors. So I want to be, Megan's like this girl with the, who does anacondas. I want to be the girl that does monitors.
All right.
So, sorry, I just went off a tangent. I'm so sorry.
No, that's what it's not. There's no tangent here. You can go wherever you want to, right? Okay. That was, that's cool. That's cool. And, well, it was that joy. The reason I asked you was, like, you had such a joy when we first met. Like, your joy was like, and I really appreciated, like, your willingness to just not hold it back and just, like, let that joy drive you to tears and not be ashamed of it. And I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with doing. And then there's these ways that people like think, and I'm speaking for myself here, like there's these things to think about, like I'd love to do this, or like, not be ashamed of this. And a lot of times the shame just creeps in. It doesn't allow you. You stay in this like, little more of a box, and you're like, I don't want to, step out of this line and do that. You exuded none of that. You were like,
no.
There's lines and boxes around here somewhere, I'm sure. But
I don't know what it is.
And that's just great. And I need people like you to remind me that I don't need to stay inside of a box for other people, and I need to not do that and just step into whatever it is in the moment.
Absolutely.
And so you inspire me to do that. And so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I never thought that I would ever in a million years inspire somebody. So to have you say that really means a lot. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
That's really, really cool. I never in a million years would have thought somebody said that. So thank you for saying that. That means a lot.
Well, is there anything you want to say to folks before we roll out of here?
I really appreciate you having me on here. I feel like this is all make believe, and
No,
like,
it's real.
I know, it's so weird, and people do this daily, and it's really cool to be able to do this, and maybe other people will be like, I want to have that crazy chick on my channel too, like.
Where can you follow? Where can people
follow
what you're doing?
We're on Obsessed Exotics on Instagram, Facebook, and we have yet to make a TikTok.
Same here.
We do specialize in retics and monitors. The reason I brought the ocelot from Aubrey is because we do work with ocelots. Duh.
Yeah. Well, Aubrey will be coming on pretty soon too.
Oh,
so.
cool. I love them. The community, I've never felt a community that I've been able to be so open with and just be myself. And I've seen so many things and met so many people and touched so many animals that I never would have been able to in my life. And I think I've cried more than ever with being in this hobby. And it's such a blessing to have friends. And this isn't just an expo for me. It's a family reunion. Like, to see everybody is my favorite part. So I really appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, thanks for coming, taking a moment to sit down with me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. And Nikki is awesome. If you go follow her, check her out, what she's doing. I'm hoping that she gets to fulfill her dream of being the Megan Kelly of monitors, that's some big shoes there to step into. But I think that she can do it. She puts her mind to it. So thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment down below. We'll see you next week right back here on Redline Report. Y'all take care. I'm talking to the Lord right now, Kevin. Would you like to jump in and speak to the Lord with me? No, actually, I'm speaking to the audience.
That's the opposite.
I got Kevin McCurley over here in my ear right now. So I figured these help you like kind of focus in on where we're at here and not have to worry about other folks.
No, it's good.
You want to be like right into that microphone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like this?
Like that. Perfect. I'm also going to I'm going to film that snake a little bit if you don't mind while we do this.
Anytime.
Perfect. Nice, Nikki. You killed it. That was awesome. I'm so glad you took it there. That was.
I didn't mean to.
No, just let it go, dude.